In this video, we're going to have a look at a template which has a fixed bar across the bottom of the page. And to do that, we create a new template, inherit the main header and footer areas, single product, and we're going to give this a priority of 6. And we'll publish. And the priority, just to override or take preference over the previous template, we then edit with oxygen loading. So to get started, we add a section, and in that section we can add the WooCommerce product builder, and inside the product builder we're going to add the 2 columns, and we're also going to add a div. We don't want to add the div inside the 2 columns, so let's head over to our structure, product builder, and add the div. When it comes to the 2 columns, we're going to look at 50% and 50%, and there we have our div. So this layout will also depend on a full screen layout. So let's go to size and spacing for that section, and we're going to make it a full width layout. The next thing that we're going to do is add some elements. So in the left hand column here, we are going to add the WooCommerce product images. On the right hand side, we're going to add the product excerpt, and then we're going to add the product tabs. And in this section at the bottom here, we are going to add a layout, and we'll have a look at a column layout and 2 columns. And we'll start then in this layout, we're going to add the product title. We'll add the product price. And in the right hand div, we're going to add the WooCommerce product cart buttons. So there we have our layout, and what we want to do is make this bottom bar fixed to the bottom of the page. So to do that, we'll head over to the layout, select fixed, and then we're going to make the left 0, the right 0, and the bottom 0. So that will fix it to the bottom of the page. Then what we're going to do is we're going to set the background color to white. And what we're also going to do is we're going to change the Z index of this item to, let's make it 9999, so that it's always at the top. And what we also want to do in the effects is add a box shadow to that item so that it differentiates from other white space on the page. So we'll move that to around 30% gradient, and we're going to make the offset 15. And now when we scroll, you won't see anything. So what we'll do now is we're going to put a minus 15 there. And now you can see that it pops up nicely. And that might be a little bit much, so maybe we'll drop that back to minus 10. And we're getting a pretty good idea of what that's going to look like. Let's add a bit of space in here. Make that 20. So that drops down. We have the description. Maybe we don't need to have the word description there. So what we can do then is go to headings, and we just make that font size 0. That takes that heading away. And then in terms of the content, we can add maybe 15 pixels all around so that it just focus the attention a bit on it. And then when we come down to the main title at the bottom, we can look at centering the title. And what we'll also do now is we're going to change the font weight of that title to 500. The size and spacing we're going to change, give it a bit of space. We're not going to change the size of that title. I think that's nice and bold. In terms of the pricing, we'll make that nice and big, a font weight of 500, and we'll give that a red color, so that stands out nice. And then on the right hand side where we have ship your idea, we'll centralize that element, and then what we're going to do is we're going to make the labels a little bit bigger. What we'll also do then is make the inputs bigger, and we will change the clear link. We'll make that 18, and then the price amount, we'll make that nice and big. We'll give that a color, also red, and we'll give that a font weight of 500 as well. And then the add to cart button itself, what we're going to do is head over to that typography, and the font size there we'll make 20. We'll also give that a font weight of 500. We'll go back, and then the padding, let's make that 10 pixels all round. Apply the parameters. Let's save that. And let's head over to the website. That would be the standard layout. And now this is the layout that we have. So when you arrive on the page, there's no title at the top, but the product details are permanently visible. So it is a bit distracting not seeing a title. So let's go back here to this section, and let's add the product title again. Move that to the top, and let's just drop that font weight down to 600. Let's give that some space below, and let's just change that font size to 40. Right, and save. So now you see that you arrive on the page, there's the title, and of course then you have the information here, which is taking up quite a bit of space. The only way to really make that any smaller would be to change the size of the product title. Not much else there that we can adjust. If we want the two items to be aligned with each other, we can move that down. We can also, with that section, the main section for the whole page, is we can just drop that down to 20 there and 20 at the bottom, which moves that up. Save. Let's go and have a look at that on the front end. And now you can see you arrive on the page, you have your title, very distraction free, because you can do your reading and your research, your ratings, or submit your comment, whatever you want to do there. There's the product information. And then as you scroll down, the opportunity to make the purchase is permanently visible. You'll have to also just make provision for space for the footer of your website. But I think quite a nice idea if you're looking for a different way to attract the user's attention to your product and to make a purchase. Let's add the related products in. So we'll head back to Product Builder. We'll just collapse those. We'll add a new div. And in that div, we'll head over to WooCommerce and do related products. So we'll add those related products. We'll head over to the front end. You'll see that the related products are added, but they're added to the left of the page, which is not great. So to center that, we'll scroll down to that area. We'll select that div. Then what we'll do is we're going to give it a maximum width of 1120. To center that item, simply then select auto margin left and auto margin right. Let's head back then to the related products. We'll head over to the title. We'll centralize make that a central title. We will drop the font weight down again. We can make that font size a little bit smaller. We can then move across and go to the layout and center the layout so everything is in the center. We can head back to our div and we can give that a padding of 15%, 15 pixels, so that it just pulls it in a little bit. And what we can also do is head over to the content before that, which is the columns, and maybe just give that a little bit more air, a little bit more space. Save. Head back to this page, refresh, and now you'll see that you have a nice big area here. But what's distracting with the big image is that to get to the next image for the item, you have to scroll down. So what would be better in this case would to head over to the layout for the product images and align vertically left. And now when we refresh the page, you'll see that it's much easier then to be looking at the product and then to have a look at the different colors available. What also happens is as we select the option here, the image also changes. So that's just a nice way then to focus your user in on the information available around your product and to keep a permanently fixed bar at the bottom to add to cart. Right, that wraps up this video. Thank you for watching.